I will explain you how to print this particular number triangle pattern. So basically I'm using Java language. I have created one class pattern program. So inside this class we have one this main method, and to print this particular pattern we need four different variables. So initially we have taken int a row is equal to 4. So because we want this particular pattern to be in the 4 rows, so that's why row is equal to 4. In num is equal to 1. What it means? It means on the first row we have only one digit or one particular number. Then on the second row we have three numbers. So this count will be increased with the help of this num variable. And what is this space is equal to 3? Initially, if you see on the first row, when we compare is with the last row, we have here three spaces before one. So there are three spaces. That's why I have taken space is equal to 3 and digit is equal to 1, which is this actual number 1. Then it will be 2, then it will be 3, then it will be 4. So to increase that number, we have used digit is equal to 1. Okay, so after that, in the for loop, what we have is integer I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to row I plus plus. So this outer for loop will execute for the 4 times. Here it's a row is equal to 4. That's why it will work for 4 times, 4 iterations, and in each iteration what we want, on the first iteration it will print this first row, on the second iteration it will print this 2 2 2, then on the third iteration it will print 3, and on the fourth it will print 4s. Okay, so inside this for loop, outer for loop, we have two different for loops. So first one is to print the spaces. So if you see, firstly we are printing space and then number. That's why for loop for to print the space, integer k is equal to 0, k less than space, k plus plus, system dot out dot print, and here we are printing space. We are not using ln, we are just using print, so that it will be in the same row. Then in the second for loop, what we have is integer j is equal to 0, j less than num, j plus plus. So after printing these three spaces, this will execute for 3 times because k value space value is 3. That's why this loop will execute 3 times. Then this loop will execute. So in this row, what we have num is equal to 1 initially, and digit is also 1. So this loop will execute for one time, only for one time, and it will print 1. So after execution of this for loop, we have system.out.println to change the row. So in the second row, what we want, num is equal to num plus 2. What it means? Initially we have print this one only one times. Now we want it to be 3 times. That's why I have taken num is equal to num. Initially num is 1, so we want to print it 3 times. That's why num plus 2. And space initially we have 3. Now it is only for 2 times. When we compare it with the last row, we have only 2 spaces. That's why I have taken space minus minus, so that it will reduce count from 3 to 2. And digit plus plus, it means we want to print 2 digit. Initially we are printing 1, now we have to print 2. That's why we have taken in a digit plus plus. So for the second iteration, what will happen, it will print 2 spaces. Then for in this for loop it will print 2 digit for 3 times. This num is now 3. That's why this for loop will execute 3 times and it will print digit. Now digit is 2. We have increased it from 1 to 2. Again for the third iteration, what will happen is this for loop will print 1 space, and then this for loop will print 5 times, because again we have increased digit from 2 to 3 and num from 3 to 5. Again for the last iteration it will print once a 0 space, and then it will print 4s. Like that it will execute. Let's execute the code and check whether we have written the correct code, and it should print the pattern exactly same. Yeah, it's working, and that's how we can print this number this triangle. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.